best, easiest, and most fulfilling type of revenge is to move on. Is to move on completely from whatever you were attached or associated with. And the reason why it's the most fulfilling is because a lot of times the thought of you moving on is something that does not cross the mind of the people or the places that you're a part of. That's why you might experience some less than great behavior or just downright mistreatment because people don't think you'll ever move on. And the main character, we talk so much about the most evolved version of the main character, but the initial version of the main character a lot of times is someone who has not stood up for herself, who's not aware of how to stand up for herself, or even if she does know how to, she just doesn't. She allows people to walk over her and mistreat her. So when she's able to level up, improve herself, evolve, and learn the art of moving on, it's something that takes everyone by storm. It's something that no one will see coming, no one will expect it, and therefore that's why it is the most rewarding and it's the most fulfilling. And I will say this, the reason why I say it's the easiest, not because it's easy by any means, like, oh, well, I could just do it. It's easy because it's not something you have to do an outside source to have. Moving on is something that happens within yourself. And a lot of times we tend to move on first. Sometimes it's emotionally or sometimes it's mentally, but it's typically an internal thing. The moving on starts typically internally. And then from there, then we have the external sense of moving on where you can visibly see the actions that are going on in our mental and our emotions. So moving on, it is one of the best tools that you can have in your tool belt. It's the easiest thing you could do. Yes. When I say easy, it's easiest because it doesn't require anything outside. But emotionally, it might be hard at first. It very well might be hard at first. But that's okay. That is so okay. And I want to give you some type of encouragement and know that although things might feel difficult, things might feel like it's too hard to handle, you're unaware of how to handle it and maneuver, you're more than capable of moving on. And a lot of times we might face things for the sole purpose of the moving on. You might be facing things specifically so that you can learn this tool. So when you get later on in life, it doesn't take you to be mistreated. It doesn't take you to go through so much trauma, hurt, and pain for you to progress and excel. This is something I want you to really think about. This is something I really want you to think about. What areas do you have in your life where you can move on and it shock you and shock your nervous system and shock those around you? Granted, you're not doing anything for the validation or for the acceptance of others. You're doing things for you. However, this is a conversation about revenge. And I see so many comments and mentions of the diamonds who are going through things, who are facing things. And a lot of you guys are asking me for advice. Well, how do I do this? How do I do this? Baby, it's time to move on. And this is the perfect time and the perfect season to do that. This is the end of the year. And honestly, moving on, you could really do that at any phase of your life. You could do that at any year or any point of the year. However, if you need an extra push, think about where you want to be at the beginning of the year. Do you want to be going through the same things? Do you want to have the same struggles? Do you want to have the same pain, the heartache? Do you want to continue to bring that into the next year? The answer is most likely no. So this is your opportunity to move on. Use this time now. If you need help, I have so many different tools and resources. You can join the Esther Year. We go live twice a week. We're actually going live on Friday, which is today. You're seeing this video today. We're going live today at 6 p.m. So we go live twice a week. If you can't do that, then you can go ahead and shop maincharacterforever.com, and we have the 21-day transformation workbook, as well as different things to help you with your finances. So we have the Debt Plus Discipline Equals Dollars ebook, and there's different affirmation guides. There's different worksheets to help reset your nervous system and your mind. But the whole point of this is, if you are someone and you want to change and elevate, one, the best way to do that is to start with the process of moving on. And it doesn't always have to be something huge or drastic. The smallest effort can lead to the biggest change you've ever experienced in your life. And I'll tell you this, once you start to move on, there are going to be a couple things that happen. One, things will feel uncomfortable for you. It'll feel like something you've never done before, because it is something you've never done before. You know, your days might feel different, your nights might feel different, and you will feel something internally, and you just know, like, I'm not the same anymore. I can't put my finger on it. And the people around you, the people that know you, and people who've never even met you, will know something is different about you. So that's one thing. But the second thing I want you to be aware of, and honestly, I found this to be so annoying at first. Like, it used to it would just cause me so much uncomfortableness. When you start to change and move on, people will pop back into your life. People you haven't talked to or seen to or even thought about in years will pop back into your life. And they will pop back into your life. And these were people who were around you when you were at your lowest, when you didn't know yourself the best. You allowed yourself to go through the worst type of treatment. These people will come back in. They will come back in, and that's one of the biggest indicators that you have moved on, or you are in the process of moving on. And then on the other side of that, people who knew the people who you used to be or used to know will pop back into your life too. Does that make sense? It's almost as if everything of what you used to be, where you used to go, and what you used to do tries to come back in and almost entice you, almost try to re-engage you so you can fall back into the old patterns. You know why? Because energetically, you're shifted, you're changed, you're no longer the same. So it's almost as if it's a test. It's a test to see, have you learned everything you needed to learn? Have you grown through everything you needed to grow? And have you let go of everything? Because that could be the biggest thing, the biggest indicator that you are stagnant, is if you are not able to let go of what used to be or what was. You cannot accept and enjoy what is to come if you are still holding on to what was. Because what was is what was for a reason. It's not meant to be the next part of your life. It's not meant to see you in the next phase. I really hope this message reaches the diamond that it needs to reach. But moving on is the best form of revenge, and it is the best form of self-love. Because a lot of times you need to get the permission to move on from yourself before you can even do it. When I started my transition and I started my journey and I started to elevate and become the diamond that I knew I was meant to be, I had to give myself permission that it was okay to let go of the places you used to be comfortable in. It's okay to let go of the things you used to be comfortable doing. It felt weird at first because I was raised and conditioned and trained to be the punching bag, to be the doormat, to be the people pleaser, to be the one to always go above and beyond. And when something was uncomfortable or something felt wrong, to just be there for the comfort of others. I was never taught to put myself first. I was never taught to trust my own discernment. There were a couple times as a child where I was told blatantly, you're wrong. Things that obviously I wasn't wrong in, but because I was conditioned and raised to believe that by the adults and the people, who had authority over me, that became my internal voice. And then I always started to believe that, maybe I'm wrong. Things could be very clear, the writing on the wall, right in front of my face. And I'd say, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing it the right way, because I was conditioned to be that way. So I had to give myself permission to go back to my default settings. And let me tell you something, as the diamond, as the main character, your default setting is to always win, not to just survive. Your default setting is to thrive. Your default setting is to put yourself first. A lot of main characters get called selfish. Let me tell you something. The only thing that is selfish is putting yourself last for everyone else around you. That is truly selfish. You cannot love yourself and be so much of a doormat and a punching bag for everyone else. That's not love. And you need to move on from those type of situations. You need to move on from anyone who expects you to become victim to anything just because that's what they want to see you. I love you, diamonds, and I really hope you guys take this message and understand what I'm saying. Moving on although it is the best form of revenge, it is the best form of self-love as well. And I want you to utilize that and learn how to navigate situations where you no longer need to be there and move on with grace. Thank you so much for watching, Diamonds, and I'll see you guys soon.